Okay, now we are going to get to what has taken so long with this simple clutch job. I don't remember if I said it or not in the earlier video, but the 1-2 shift was getting a little bit crunchy, and I had a feeling it was a little bit more than just the clutch. So before I pulled the tranny out, I drained the fluid. This is a Tremec TR3650 in our 01 Mustang GT, and there was definitely some brass shavings in there. Now, all the bearings are in great shape, so not replacing any of those, and I'm not doing a full rebuild. Really, the only thing that needs changed is the 1 to 2 gear synchronizer brass ring, which I believe is this one. I can't remember, but that's why I have the computer, have the whole manual on there. So what I ordered is it's called a refresh kit from Hanlon Motorsports. And what that gives you is the front and rear seals and all of the brass synchronizer rings. It was like, I think it was like 350 bucks. So not cheap for what it is, but it should be like a brand new. So here's a couple of them, as you can see. So these are the third gear. It says third gear and something, so I don't know. We'll just match them up as we go. And I'm not trying to turn this into a transmission rebuild video, because it's not, because I don't know that much what I'm doing. So that's why I didn't show you the whole tear down and everything. I basically am filming now at the point where I got stuck, which is some of these gears are sort of pressed on to the main shaft and they need pulled off so that I can get the synchronizers apart and replace those blocker rings. So nice. I always like it when they come with swag. Bunch of stickers, fridge magnet. I like it. And it was, yeah, they call it the 3650 refresh kit. I'll show you what all it is, but the total was about 350 bucks with shipping. So let's get into that. Not going to do a whole lot of talking. I'm just going to kind of time lapse over this. Doesn't really look that cooked, but that wouldn't be the, well, I mean, it is worn. That's the troublemaker there. We'll look at it compared to a new one. I believe this is the second gear synchro right here, and that's the one that was causing me the issues. So I am going to eat my celebratory Subway, and then we will be back after this commercial break. Okay, I'm not going to do a whole how-to on this because this is not meant to be a transmission episode, but I'm just going to show you here replacing this one synchronizer brass ring, or blocker ring is what they call them. Here's one of the other ones that's a different style. You can see here are both styles of old ones that I've already replaced. Just have a little bottle of AutoZone trans fluid that I'll lube everything up with. So this synchro blocker ring, there's the inner cone, and there is that synchro, which actually doesn't look terrible, but that should have been the one that was causing me grief. Does not look that much different when compared to the new one, maybe slightly thinner. But anyway, the way it works is your synchronizers, these ones are a cone shape and they're brass, and what they do is they ride against this synchro ring on the outside and the inner one on the inside, which is the one sitting on the table over there. And they just use friction to grip this blocker ring, and it brings it up to the same speed as the main shaft, so it speeds up the gear to the same speed as the main shaft before it will allow these teeth to engage. That's why it's called a blocker ring. It blocks it from going into gear until these teeth and the gear are going the same speed as the main shaft. That's why they, in theory, don't grind. So that guy just goes right on there like that. And we will just put a little bit of sauce on there. Okay, and a little bit on our chingus here. We'll put that in. Yeah, it does. Definitely fits snugger. Snugger? Is that a word? More snugly. There's more friction going on there, so hopefully that and the new shifter will cure what ails it. And we just put a little bit of sauce on this inner ring right here. So that be that. Now we're ready to go back on with our bearing. And when I take apart a manual, I lay everything upside down as I take it off. So now that I know that this goes on the opposite of the way it was laying on the table, just put a little lube sauce on that guy. And that gear goes back on. And that is the synchro back together. Now, got to get our little check ball and sleeve back in there. That is the main shaft reassembled. So all the gears should spin freely because that's how they work. They spin on, oh, that one's locked in. See, they spin freely on the main shaft until you shift forks go in here, right? So this gear, I don't know what this is. Fourth? I think this is, that should be third. I think first, second, third, fourth, I think. Anyway, I don't have to know that, I just have to know how to put it back together. So it spins freely on that bearing on the shaft, and then when you shift with the shift fork, that pulls the synchronizer down and locks it to the main shaft. All the other gears are free. Now, if I want this gear, it goes up, that's free, and then I can shift into second, that's locked. But basically they can be turning. I don't know if I can do that with, I don't have enough hands, but now it's locked in. This synchro ring is over on the bench. I don't have it, so. And that one only goes one way. Yep, because there's only blockers on one side, so spins free. Locked in, spins free. Locked in, spins free. Locked in. This one spins free, and we don't have the hub to put on there yet, so shortly. show you what the conflagration was there. You have to keep this bearing up above the reverse idler shaft as you're going down. That's why it kind of doesn't want to go, but there we go. Let's get some bolts in and snug her up. All right, before I button it up, I just wanted to show you what a simple beast these are. There's really not that much to it. This is all that the shifter attaches to. There's basically little gates right here. Your shifter attaches to this rod with the little flipper. Oh, that's nice. I just stuck my finger in that wet silicone. That'll be fine. Just smooth that up a little bit. Anyway, it's pretty simple how it works. Is when you push the shifter side to side, it rotates this guy between these three little gates, which would be like anyway, this one's fifth in reverse, so down, that's got to be reversed, I think, because it's not engaging the synchro. And then it's hard to do with one hand, but anyway, up would be reverse. I believe this is 1 2, this is 3 4, this is 5 reverse, so pretty simple. All right, the video camera's dead, so let's new seal in there real quick just to show. Got her cleaned up pretty decent, and let's see if I can slide this on there one-handed. Probably not. Well, that's okay. Now if it'll balance there precariously for a second, I got to get this guy started on there. Oh, buddy. Just trying to line this guy up. Now what? There we go. I'll get all the bolts started and barely snugged, and then I gotta drive the roll pin back into that guy. Then we are just about done. So there you go. It's all ready to go in. New throwout bearing. Everything is cleaned and greased. You can tell that just rolled over onto its side, but that just glides like butter. Make sure you lube the throwout bearing snout, or the input bearing snout that the throwout bearing glides on. A little bit of grease on the splines and the nose, and a little bit of grease here where that pivots on that ball, and then that just snaps on there. I did run it through the gears real quick with the shifter to make sure that everything does what it should. Neutral's neutral, other gears move, reverse goes reverse. That is all good. I poured 2 quarts of fluid in it already. I think that's enough that it won't spill out. So that guy, ready to go in there. Okay. I filled the transmission through the shifter hole, easiest way to do it, until it ran out of the fill plug. It actually took closer to 5 quarts, probably because I had it drained all the way. But anyway, got a nice shmoo of RTV on there, gasket maker. Totally stealing that word because I like it. I have the Summit short throw shifter. Reuse the bushing from the old shifter there. Hopefully I can plonk it right on there. I don't know how good the camera footage will be because I'm not good at filming while looking through. So this just goes right in the cup down there. You gonna go in there? You gonna get in there, guy? Oh, that was a nice little plonk. Right on there, and it's in neutral right now. I figured that's the easiest way to do it. Just like that. I'm going to put a little bit of Thread Locker Blue gel on the bolts. They give you new bolts with this, just cause that's how I roll. And then snug it down. We'll check those other bolts and we'll adjust it.
Okay, we're gonna put the shifter boot back on.
Let's take a look at that glorious Summit / Steeda Triax that you worked very hard to install, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm going to plug in the lighter. This. It's not a lighter anymore, is it?
Nope, because smoking ain't cool, is it?
It is not.
And then all those clips that you broke will kind of snap back in there now.
I broke nothing.
The bottom ones go straight down in, so probably start with those.
Is there supposed to be snapping?
There'll be like a yep,
oh,
just like that. That's fine.
That sounds bad. Woo!
Look at you.
Look at me, I did it.
So situate the shifter boot down over it.
The boot.
Just sad because now all your hard work is covered up and looks totally stock. Wait, let me put
I need stuff.
Okay, take that.
Okay.
And just put just a little. I'll put it on this. The tiniest little schmoo of anti-seize, because we don't want to make a mess.
Whatever. You're the messiest guy I know.
All right, show me the gears that you can. You don't have to use a clutch because it's not hooked to anything.
Doesn't feel like it's going. Oh,
That is. And because the transmission hasn't really been rotated yet, it
got
won't
it.
want to. So they're shorter too. It's a short
They're
throw, so you'll go. Should be real nice for banging gears. And I'll take them underneath real quick and show them. I'm going to attempt to show you what you're in for with the clutch quadrant and cable. You can see that rod that goes across, and it comes out on the other side with all this plastic stuff up here. I'll show you those a little better when I get them out and how they work, but there's going to be a clip on the outside that I have to take off, and then they slide off of there, and the cable comes out and then comes out the firewall. So while we're here, I got the clutch cable out of the firewall. There's just two little tiny 5mm bolts that hold it in. I broke this clip and freaked out about it slightly, but then it turns out you don't need it. Here, I'll show them what we got if you want to take over. This is the Ford Racing Kit, which comes with a billet aluminum quadrant, which replaces the adjustable garbage that Ford had from the factory. I'll kind of try to show you how this works. So this is the quadrant. Goes in there like this, I believe. Yeah, the cable came through the firewall and hooked over here. And this pivots on the clutch pedal. And this little guy had this spring on it, also on the clutch pedal. And these teeth engage like so. So what happens is, as the clutch wears, when you let it back out, and if you actually pull up on the clutch pedal, it'll self-adjust, and these guys will like ratchet up another tick, which is like the parking point for that, which is great because you don't have to adjust it. It adjusts itself. Well, in theory, but it had not, because when we first got this car, I had to adjust that because there was too much slack in the cable, because the cable stretches a little bit. Do I have like a Doc Brown hair crazy thing going on?
A little bit, yeah.
That's fine. So this guy replaces it. This goes on both points where that was, and then you can hook your cable here or here. They want you to start here. So this guy comes through the firewall and hooks like that or like there. The problem with that adjustable setup is if you drive the car hard, and especially if you get a stiffer clutch, those nylon things will break. You'll stomp the clutch hard to like power shift and they just snap and pieces hit the floor. So this Ford Racing cable is adjustable on the transmission end. So what we do is we get it all put in there, hooked up on the firewall side, route it down there, and then we adjust this on the clutch to have about a 1/4 inch of play at the clutch pedal, just barely any. It's not like old stuff. These are made for the throwout bearing to pretty much be touching the clutch all the time. not with any pressure, but just lightly contacting. That way when you hit the clutch, it's right there. So let me take you underneath real quick and show you. The camera is charging too, so it should be ready for some live action pretty soon. Transmission is in, all in. Drive shaft is in. I just didn't film any of that because all you would see is my belly poking out from under the car. And you can see our beautiful new Mcleod clutch up in there. I've got the exhaust. The X pipe just slid in there for mock-up because I'll give that back to you. Oh, yep, shocking, I know. Because what we have here is we decided to go ahead and get some universal high flow catalytic converters just off of Amazon. They were like, what were they, $100, $110?
Yeah.
Because I think with that off-road X pipe and the Pypes catback violator, it's going to be way too rowdy and it's going to be obnoxious. So these guys will tone it down a little bit. Anyway, so I'm going to mock those up under there, take it all back out, weld it, put it back in, and we will bring you back when we are putting in the brand new catback. Okay, now finally getting to the exhaust. They want you to put the tailpipes in there first, right, Chels?
Yes.
So let me just give you, I'm not going to really do a how-to, but I'll show you what. Got both tailpipes just hanging in there. This is my magnificently modified X pipe with cats now added. So now, what hangers though? Those front muffler hangers? Where did those go? I gotta go find those. Flow tubes. I put one flange on backwards. I'm an idiot. The point is, I caught it now. Okay. So one of the pipes on the X pipe is shorter than the other, so I'm guessing that will sort itself out. Let me grab find a 13 mil socket and I'll zip those studs out. What did I do? Oh god, yeah, oh, snake.
Install the flow tube flanges onto the flow tubes.
I already did.
Slide them into the outlets of each muffler.
Okay.
The shorter flow tube belongs on the driver's side of the PE pole.
You always leave everything loose until you have everything installed. Thanks for function checking. Did you let the clutch out? How does it feel? First test drive clean it off a little bit because it's covered with dust from sitting in the shop. So we can't bang on it, unfortunately. Oh, there's something coming. It's got just a little cackle to it, which I kind of like. We can't bag on it too hard because the clutch, they don't want you to go full throttle or shift it higher than 4,000 RPM until you have like 500 miles, 1,000 miles, something like that. So just take her a little easy. Some kid just yelled, "Nice Mustang." Right on. Good for you, kid. Definitely glad that I put the cats on there because it has a good sound, but it's not obnoxious. You get just the slightest little cackle on a quick rev or a decel. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. That Violator catback without cats would have been way too rowdy, I'm thinking. It's actually not a ton louder than it was with no cats and the stock catback. Look at that beautiful Montana countryside. Okay, we'll try this. This is going to be shifter cam. Get out onto the road here and feed it some. Gotta keep it under $4,000. Thank you guys all so much. I would love to keep growing this channel so I can do bigger and better things. I didn't mean for this episode to turn into an impromptu transmission rebuild, but such is life with cars, and that's how it goes sometimes. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. You're gonna want to see what we got coming up. New project reveal in the next couple episodes. So thanks everybody for watching, and stay tuned.